Now, over the last couple of days, Bernie Sanders has caught and passed Hillary Clinton in Iowa. He's already leading in New Hampshire. He's almost caught her in the national polling. Only 3 weeks left before Iowa. So here comes a populist wave on the left side. Now, on the right side, that populist wave has already crashed, not on top of all of our heads, that's also in the middle of happening, but mainly on top of the Republican establishment's heads. And that comes in the form of Donald Trump. So let's check in on his numbers, see how he's doing. Well, Ted Cruz has been beating him for a while in Iowa, and the voting's only 3 weeks away. So let's check in to see if Cruz is holding on to his lead. Nope. New Quinnipiac poll, Trump back on top. Okay, now it's just 2 points, but there was a poll yesterday that also had him up by a point. So now we're trending towards Donald Trump. What has Donald Trump done to take down Ted Cruz? Well, he's a right-winger. So he used the oldest right-wing trick in the book, racism. He's like, there's not a lot of evangelicals coming out of Cuba. What does that mean? Okay, Ted Cruz is evangelical, so he came out of Cuba, so what? Why would you say that? You would say that, Ted Cruz, he's not white. I mean, you're in Iowa. What are you going to do, to vote for the non-white guy? And then he did the birther thing on him. I mean, was he really born here? I mean, he wasn't. He was born in Canada, right? Is he really a citizen? And all of a sudden, people are like, Ted Cruz, I don't know about that Ted Cruz guy. Donald Trump, there's one thing I know about him. He's white. Okay, now, I tell you all that, yes, that is some of the dirty tricks he's played, and he's played many dirty tricks, and he's got that whole racism, fascism thing going. I got it, okay? But do not discount the other reason why Donald Trump is super popular, which is that he says, I'm not bought. I'm not bought. The rest of these guys are all bought. The donors give them millions of dollars. They do exactly what the donors tell them to do. They're the establishment. They're standard greasy politicians. I get up here, and you can tell, I don't know what I'm talking about. Right? I'm speaking off the top of my head. There's no prompter, there's no nothing, there's no donors, there's no strings, right? There might be crazy head up here and hair, but there's no strings. I'm not a puppet. And people go, ooh, I like that. People on the right like it, people on the left like it. They've gravitated towards two enormously different individuals. But one thing is absolutely clear. Not in favor of the establishment. Can't stand the establishment. Enough of that. And by the way, that is happening all across the world. Greece went significantly left. Canada went significantly left. Eastern Europe went significantly right. So people are saying, hey, whatever it is, I don't want the same old, same old. The same old has been screwing us for decades. It's time to try something new. And America right now is at an unbelievable juncture where you have the idea and the probability at this point that it is going to be Trump versus Sanders. No one could have possibly imagined that race. What an unbelievably fascinating race. And most importantly, a race that clearly gives Americans a choice. Do you want to go right or do you want to go left? We're done with the centrist establishment guys who have all agreed. They say there's no bipartisanship in Washington. That's not remotely true. Whenever it comes to giving donors whatever they want, oil companies, banks, pharmaceutical companies, there's enormous bipartisan agreement. Well, we're done with that agreement. We're either going to go right or we're going to go left. Now, again, back to Trump. How badly is he beating these guys? Well, let's look at the national numbers. On the GOP side, Donald Trump extended his lead over his GOP rivals with 34% now backing the real estate tycoon, up from 27%. His support is now nearly equal to his three closest rivals combined. You think Trump's not real? Those pundits on TV have been telling you he's not real for months and months and months. They're not getting it, man. We don't want your stinking politicians. So the right wing saying, you take all those lousy politicians, wrap them up all together, and Trump is beating all top three combined, okay? Now, we're told also by those pundits, well, you know, he's an extremist. Now, the reality is Trump is massively extreme in a lot of different ways in terms of policy, right? But is his appeal not going to be to the moderates? They tell us, I mean, how many times have you heard this on TV? The moderates are either going to vote for Jeb Bush or Marco Rubio or John Kasich. Really? Let's look at the numbers and find out. Although Trump depicts himself as an outsider and a conservative, he does far better among moderate and liberal Republicans than his rivals. 39% of moderates support Trump, and 68% of liberal Republicans. So if you're looking for the moderate cavalry to save Jeb Bush or Marco Rubio, I got bad news for you. They ain't coming. They already switched sides. They're already in Trump's army. Because it isn't just about the extreme rhetoric he uses. It's about that idea of, I'm not bought. I'm my own man, and I will do whatever's in my crazy head and whatever's in your crazy head. But I'm not going to do what the donors tell me to do. I'm not going to listen to the millionaires and the billionaires. I don't need them because I'm a billionaire. I'm my own man. You have no idea how much that resonates with Republican voters. It also resonates in Democratic voters. Now, Donald Trump isn't going to do anything about the corrupt system, right? But he is a symbol fighting against the corrupt system, at least in the right-wingers' minds. And that's why it's so powerful. So there is no cavalry. Jeb Bush should quit today. He has 0% chance, let alone the rest of them. If you think Trump is not the most likely candidate for the Republicans, you're not getting it. Okay, it's not over. There's a lot of time between now and then, and Trump is a time bomb, so he can say something even crazier than he's already said that might actually hurt him. Okay, but is he the likely nominee? Is he the front runner? Where's the question? Of course he's the front runner by a landslide at this point. I got to say, one last aside they had in this polling, which I was amused by, that talk of the moderate and liberal Republicans. They added quickly thereafter, the numbers in these categories were very small, however, making the findings less conclusive. Which, again, goes to another point I've been saying all along. What moderate and liberal Republicans? That cavalry is so small that when those three dudes show up at Jeb Bush's rally, it ain't going to make a difference anyway. Besides which, we just found out 2 of them went over to Trump's rally. We are on the verge of a historic election where America is going to have to choose between left and right. And you're going to have, it's enormously possible now that you're going to have very, very clear choices. This is not politics as usual. This is completely unusual. So buckle up. This election just got amazing. Okay. If you think that's interesting, God damn, I love this job.